Now that we've finished editing our vector data, this is a good time to just roll it right into how we edit attribute data in QGIS. If you're already somewhat familiar with GIS, this should be fairly straightforward, but there's a couple of things I do want to show you that I think are interesting. So here's the layer we've been working with, that parcel temp from the last lecture. So the one thing I can do now is I can open the attribute table. And in here I can turn on the editing tool. A couple of ways to edit. Here's the Swiss code. I can make that 500,701. All right, so let's make that 506,000. Okay, so that would be a way to edit. You could go indirectly into the individual fields. You can also look at this in the form view as well. So for a particular feature, let's for instance, let's select this one right here, and I want to be able to look at just the selected features. So down below under the filter, I can say let's show the selected features, right? We could do the same here as well. So this is the selected feature, so I can change this to 504. Let's make that 503, right? Another way we can update some features, again, we can click on the Open Attribute table or hit F6, and we're looking at it in the form mode, but here's more of the row mode that we can look at. We can select say the print key, and I can make that equal to some value, and I can update all of them, or I can update just the selected features if I was interested in doing that. We can also go to the field calculator. So in this case, we can create a new field. We're not going to do that. We can update an existing field. So maybe the municipality, the muni. Here you can see they're not all Ithaca, most of them are. So I'll go to the muni, and so that's the field I want to update, and I can change that to say GIS Advisor. Right? And that would update all of the fields to be GIS Advisor. I don't want to do that actually. But another thing we can do is we can start working with some of the tools here. So we know it's a string tool. Maybe I want it to be all lowercase. So I can type lower, and then in parentheses here we need to put in the field name. So I can type in Muni. And you can see it's now made Ithaca lowercase. Another thing that I can do, let's look at, say, mailing. Instead of clicking all around here, I can just type MAILING, right? And it knows to grab the field, so I can make that update. And again, we can update that just on the selected features as well. Okay, I'm going to turn off the editing. We're going to discard the edits. Okay, another thing I want to show you, in another part of this video, we did some work on the watersheds, and we actually added some columns to it. So in producing the video, I left these in. So these are some extra columns I don't want in my watersheds table because I don't want you to receive them. So before I send these out, I want to get rid of them. So I can come in here and I can add a new field, and I can give it a name. I can say whether it's text or number, and then I can give some information about it. The other thing I can do is I can delete a field. So in this case, I'm going to delete count, sum, and mean. And if I hit OK, those are deleted. And then I can save it. That's done. So that's a really great way to manage your tables. So editing attribute data is pretty straightforward inside of QGIS, and as you learn some of the other things like using the SQL tools, there's even more sophisticated ways. But again, for what you're going to probably do as a GIS analyst getting started, this should help you get through about 90% of the types of attribute editing that you want to perform. Oh, and now we have a bonus feature because there's one thing I had forgotten to mention. I'm going to make the parcel temp editable, and I'm going to click on the info button, and let's click on this particular parcel here, and I can come in and I can change this information. I could call it just Cayuga and then hit OK, and then I can save that, And if I come in here again, you can see this is QGIS. So this is another way that you can start to edit data right through the form by clicking on the individual graphic objects and have access to the attribute. So not bad. I threw a little bit of a bonus feature in there. This gets us through the editing capabilities. Again, you should be on your way and ready to go with editing vector and attribute data inside of QGIS.